Heineke sets up, looking for Terry McLaurin against Alexander. It is caught! Touchdown!
Walker fires, caught, touchdown, Tommy Tremble.
But I want to recognize one guy right now. PJ with the game, ball.
Hey, great job, defense. Y'all went out there and shut them the down. Offense, way to run the ball. Special teams, y'all did y'all job today, man. Y'all made every play y'all needed to. Hey, together on three.
I'm going to unmute myself just as I'm supposed to be doing. There we are. Hello, somebody. This is the X-Man Show, afternoon delight. This is the X-Man Arlington Lane. Got a lot of news to talk about, man. Got a lot of stuff. But before I do that, always, when we do this show, got to bring in my guy, my co-host, every freaking show. You know him. You love him, you hate him, whatever you feel. My man, Dirty. What's up, brother? How you doing this Tuesday afternoon?
How do you not unmute your microphone? That's what I
don't know, man. It just happens that way. It's like that sometimes.
I can see that, dude. It is pouring here in St. Louis, raining like a cat's dog.
It's cool, man. It's cool here in Houston, but before I get started.
Look, I know it says news, and a bone to pick. There is a lot going on. The next couple weeks are going to be crazy here for the XFL. We got town halls. We got 5 of the 8 cities have announced their town halls. Bob Stoops let it out when the actual draft is going to be and where it's going to take place. Yes, I know, Max, that, Mike Mitchell had said it way back in September, but if I'm not mistaken, we had Coach Beck on. He was on the show a while back, and he had said, when the draft was going to take place, but didn't name the city. So it's still really all up in the air because guess what? Nobody really, other than, Bob Stoops, saying when the draft was going to be. But nobody knows where or anything. You know what I'm saying?
Before I get to any of that, before we get to any of that, Dirty, I got to do this. I really have to do this. No, I'm not going to do that. I got to do this stuff. Just trust me. Trust me.
Oh,
trust
me. Okay.
I want to give my thoughts and prayers to those over at Central and Visual Performing Arts High School. There was a school shooting in the city of St. Louis. Didn't think it would happen in my city, but it did. And lost a teacher and 2 students. And what you don't know is my second cousin was involved. Well, not involved, but was there when it happened. And you never want to be that person to have to deal with that, right? And to come across the words of what happened and what goes through the mindset of somebody that wants to do something so evil. I know I heard about the suspect being deceased, and that's fine. But there's one thing that I cannot stand is why this keeps happening. That's my thing. I know I said I have a bone to pick, and it was more XFL related, but this is a bone I have that I've been picking on with this. It's got to stop. It has to stop. It has to end. This is getting tiring. When my mama in the media, Carol Daniel over at KMOX Radio, is saying that I am tired, Like literally, that's what came out of her mouth. Just those 3 words. And I immediately understood what she was saying. I understood it. It's sickening. And then to find out that this school is just a part of a list, that this is going to continue. It's going to continue. They're trying to continue it. I'm sickened when I see this. And it's happening in my city. And they're targeting people. My cousin is a target. They're trying to go to a middle school where she works at to go shoot it up. I'm pissed off about that. This is happening too much. Like, what is going on in the psyche of these people? Driving me crazy. I'm sick of that. It needs to end. The biggest key from all of this is that it's gone. Where is it? We don't do this anymore. We don't love anymore. And it breaks my heart that we don't know how to do this anymore, because every day we think of hate, we think of negative. We don't think of what can we do to potentially save a child's life. We have to, these days, teach a child what to do when an active shooter is about to head in the school. I'm sorry. I had to go on this soapbox because it's driving me crazy. And now my family is getting involved in this. And I'm scared out of my wits. I'm scared. I'm just going to be, that's my honesty to that. We're going to discuss what's going on with the XFL. And if I'm not up to it, you're just going to have to bear with me. Understand that. You just going to have to understand and bear with me. But I'm going to try and get through this show knowing what's on my mind right now with what's going on in the country today. I'm sickened by what's going on right now. It's driving me crazy. I just want to get that off, Dirty. And thank you for letting me get that off.
Well, I mean, that's fine. You know, and some special thoughts. We actually have some fans who actually watch our show weekly who were there at the shooting there at the old Southwest High School. It's a very sad day. And it's like you said, where is the love? It's just not there anymore. People just don't have it. So a very sad day in the St. Louis and the nation itself. It's made national news. I was going to wait more towards the end of the show to mention that. But
I understand, man, but it was on my heart, and I needed to say it at the moment.
Right, yeah, and I get it. So I was figuring that's how we would end the show, but no, it's a good way to start the show. But now what we're going to talk about is this. A lot of stuff and a positive if you're an XFL fan going on, right? Finally, Cookies are starting to come out of the oven. You know, it's like Christmas. It's like Christmas, you know. You cook a lot of cookies. You know what I'm saying, Arlington, right? Don't you cook a lot of cookies? It's like Thanksgiving. When you make your Thanksgiving meal, do you put all of your stuff in at one time in Thanksgiving, or do you bake it over time after time after time, right?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So let's really get into it. We have the town halls.
Town halls
here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And we have 2 of them in we have 5 announced, and and 2 I think 2 next week, correct? If I'm not mistaken. Orlando and St. Louis next week, right?
Yeah.
Now, I see that Player 54, Michael Lathrop, had put out, we're going to hear November 2nd, team names and uniforms, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the 2nd, you have the San Antonio, and you have Washington, D.C. And then
Correct.
November 9th, you have Seattle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Arlington, I'm going to go right back to saying it. Guess what, people? We already know that the team names are. We've known for a very, 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 very long time what the team names are, right?
Correct.
If you go to the XFL's website, their shop is down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, think about it, though. Are you going to release Arlington? Let me ask you this. Well, look, Andrew. Okay, so I'm going to read it off. I'm going to read it off. Ready?
I thank you, Billy. Thank you for your comment.
I was reading what he said.
Yeah, it's basically the end is all I really needed to see. It's all about love, and that's what it's about for real.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So,
but
now, if in Orlando, now listen, when they announced these things the first time, they said you had to be. They said you had to be a huddle member, right?
Mm-hmm.
A huddle member, XFL newsletter member, and a season ticket holder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, Orlando, mind you, Arlington, let's really look at this, right?
Okay.
So those were the 3 qualifications that you had to really have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Orlando says, really, you guys can go and read these. These are out there all over Twitter, right? It says, as a 2023 deposit holder for Orlando, you and a guest have been invited to join XFL and head coach Terrell Buckley Tuesday, November 1st from 6 to 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was Orlando. Why is it some BS, Andrew? I mean, they clearly said this is how you have to sign up for all of this stuff. Or you can watch our show because we tell you. Now, St. Louis says, as a huddle member for St. Louis, you and a guest are invited to join the XFL and XFL coach or head coach Anthony Beck on Tuesday, November 1st from 5 to 7. Are you seeing a pattern here? San Antonio, as a huddle member for San Antonio, you and a guest are invited to join Hines Ward November 2nd. Are we seeing a pattern, Arlington? DC, as a huddle member for DC.
Correct.
Invited. Okay. Now let's go to Seattle. Seattle, as a ticket deposit holder for Seattle, you and a guest. Now look, is it some bullshit? Sure. You could call it some BS all you want. I mean, is it BS on the way that they decided to do it? Sure. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. But think about it here. We've done it before on the show. We've showed you ticket sales. Imagine you're at, and we've averaged it out to about 1,000 people per GAs, right? Roughly.
Right.
1,000, 2,000, right? Now imagine if you're a GA 15 here in St. Louis, right?
Mm-hmm.
For groups of 4. It might change if you only get 1 ticket. You might be in a lower group. But then we found out, because the XFL kind of, had speculated some stuff or whatever. That's beside the point. Anyways, imagine if you're a season ticket holder here in St. Louis, right?
Right.
Now, you knew St. Louis the tickets were going to sell well in St. Louis. So how are you going to pick how many people you're going to invite to? You see what I'm saying?
And I get it. St. Louis is probably going to be the one where everybody is going to want to participate, or a lot of people are going to want to participate.
I get that you said that you've had season tickets under your brother's name. I get it. Guess what? I had season tickets under my son's name. I didn't get picked. I know Rick Story had season tickets, had an entire tailgate section. He didn't get picked. Why? Because he's not a huddle member. Andrew, are you a huddle member? I'm a huddle member, and I still didn't get picked. Okay? Still didn't get picked. I know Reed Johnson up there in Seattle didn't get picked the first time around. I don't know if he got picked the second time. I just know that he didn't get picked the first time around because he wasn't a huddle member. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Arlington, we know somebody who was probably one of the very first XFL ticket holders for the XFL. They didn't get picked. Motherhawk was probably number one ticket holder in St. Louis, if I'm not mistaken. Like one of the very first people, less than maybe, she was single digit. She didn't get picked because she wasn't a huddle member here in St. Louis. So each city, they designed it a certain way to go by huddle members and ticket holders, which in one way, do I think it's fair? No. But at the same time, do I think it's smart? Yes, I do. Because if you're a huddle member here in St. Louis and you signed up right away, you're one of those diehards. If you signed up within the first 10 minutes, that means you're a diehard. I think I signed up like 3 hours later once the huddle was released. So, I mean, but with this, how do you say, with this management, we don't know anything. You don't know how they're thinking. And is that a good thing or a bad thing? It depends on how you look at it. I think it's a good thing. It's always got people guessing, right?
Right. And that's the thing and that's what we tried to touch on last week, was when we did the little impromptu skit on the league representing and the fans representing. With the
Correct.
league rep being that they're going to do what's best for the league at this point. It's going to seem like they're going to renege against the fans.
All right, Jimmy, look, right here. Jimmy says it. Renegade season ticket holder here. Have paid from deposit. I don't know how they're doing it in Arlington. Maybe you can enlighten us, Jimmy. How are they doing it or how are they doing it?
And that's the thing, Andrew. I have nothing against in St. Louis that they would have packed Ballpark Village. That would be great. But I don't think, this is just me thinking and not knowing. This my thoughts is they do not want to pack Ballpark Village. That's just my thoughts. And that sounds crazy. That sounds bananas. Why would you not do that? It's because they just want to have a small group to see who comes out. And
Arlington, let's look at this. Maybe for the St. Louis one. And what was the other one that was a huddle member one?
San Antonio was a huddle member one.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe it was, okay. He goes, I haven't seen anything on the emails or the coach. No, but coach did do that. His little weekly.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk
about that. Hold on. What was it? So like, I mean, today you have on the St. Louis one, you have till the 26th. So you have till tomorrow, right? So I don't know about Seattle,
Vegas, and Arlington. That's the ones we don't know yet. No, Seattle has theirs, don't they?
Seattle has theirs on the 9th.
Okay.
So
we don't know about Vegas, we don't know about Arlington, and we don't know about what's the other? Houston. You don't know about Houston. That's what I really ain't heard that one. That's kind of a bizarre one.
Right. And you've reached out to, people that we know in Houston, and they haven't heard anything, right?
Yeah.
So look, I mean, I remember when they did the first town hall meeting when we did it, Coach Hayes, right? I mean, there was 700 people in there. 700 people
at Ballpark Village. And I showed up late to the event.
If you remember, they did small meet and greets earlier, right? Coach Beck did a small meet and greet. Coach Reggie Barlow did a small meet and greet, which only of about 5 to 50 fans, right?
Yeah, not a handful. Yeah, pretty much not a lot.
Again, how did they get picked? That's the thing, is we don't know. And that's the thing with this, what this leadership has done, is they've always kept us in suspense. Is it fair to fans? No, it's not fair to fans. And actually, I'm getting ready to drop something for this. Actually, since Jimmy put it up there, Jimmy, here you go. I'm going to drop it. Arlington, are you ready? I got some speculation. Ready?
Okay.
Player 54 has said that we will see on November 2nd team colors and names, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question, Arlington. Who does the XFL work for? Who are they involved with? Who are they involved with? No. Who? Who's one of their major partners?
Oh, Under Armour.
No, not Under Armour. Not Under Armour. Think about it. Who do they have a working partnership with?
Adidas?
The NFL.
NFL. You're talking about that. Okay. Right.
Oh, right?
Okay.
Speaking of Adidas, you got guys like Kanye. Why we still have a lot of our
We're
products.
not talking about that.
I know you're not a Kanye fan. See, look, Jimmy said it, Arlington, the NFL, right?
Okay.
The NFL. Thank you for joining us all the way down there,
Hey,
Arlington.
share this wherever you are, wherever you may be.
Wherever you guys are. We're this show is about the fans. We're here to just talk about what you guys want to see, right? So think about it, Arlington. You come up, right?
Mhm.
First pick of the draft on November 16th. That's if that is when the draft is, because even though Bob Stoops said it, nobody has come out and said it from the league itself, right?
Nobody has officially confirmed it from the league.
Right. Bob Stoops on his little podcast, right? That he had. So we don't know. We're going by what Bob Stoops said. But November 16th.
I don't diss
Coach
Bob
Beck did
Stoops'
say
podcast, man.
I'm not. It's actually a pretty good show. I mean, I actually enjoy it. It's not quite as entertaining as us. You know, Jimmy said he's going to be there. Jimmy, just be looking for a dude walking around with a backwards hat. You might see me. I don't know. No, never know. Anyways, Arlington, back to what I was saying. Now, my speculation, think about it. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
San Antonio Yellow Bellies. Coach Ward. Chief operating, whatever the hell you want to call him, Russ Brandon's up there. And they call Jordan Ta'amu. Now, I don't really know if it's Jordan Ta'amu. Okay, Brian Scott. The San Antonio Yellow Bellies draft Brian Scott first as the first pick of the XFL.
Are you saying San Antonio is going to get the very first pick in the draft?
I'm speculating that San Antonio is going to get the first pick.
That's way too early.
Holds the jersey. See, okay, so he said The Rock said it. Said The Rock said it right here. The draft will be on November 16th. There you go.
So basically everybody's confirming it. That's where we're at.
Everybody's confirming it, apparently, right. But listen, my speculation, he holds the jersey up. It's the Yellow Bellies jersey. And that is the XFL. He launched the store November 16th. That's when we find out team names. That's when we find out logos. That's just my speculation. Because if you think about it, Arlington, let's really think about it, right? Mm-hmm. You have St. Louis and the Yellow Bellies, San Antonio's, on November 1st, right?
All of them. Man.
Are you really going just to launch those two stores? No, you're going to launch all the stores together, correct?
At one time, yeah.
So what better day to do it? What better way to do it to unveil everything? Sure, they can give us the names, right? In the next coming weeks. But what better day to announce the logos and the jerseys and the team names to sell merchandise?
On the 16th.
On the 16th. And as you're doing it, they're pulling away the sheets, the big black sheets for the Yellow Bellies gear. And then here comes the Seattle Dragons. Or not the Seattle Dragons, but the
Sea Dragons.
Anchors. The Seattle Anchors. I'm sticking to anchored by greatness. They go the Anchors. Silver with their first pick. Boy, that would piss a lot of people off in Seattle if Brandon Silvers came back, wouldn't it? And
they like them. Come on, man.
And then it comes to St. Louis, and it's the St. Louis Sea Blockers, and they pull off their big black sheet. And that's how they do it. Now tell me that wouldn't be cool.
You're so stupid. I can't believe you actually sitting there and being this trash that you consider.
Look, wait, hey. There's people that agree with me right here.
Listen.
Tell me that would be a great idea. Great way to do it.
I think this is Jimmy's first time actually being with us and actually commenting on the show. So he don't really know about how you would. I love the idea. What is wrong with you people?
Are you saying that would be it'd be a good idea to do it that way? Boom, and then your merch start.
But what you didn't mention, Dirty, can we mention where it's going to be? Like where the draft is going to be?
Well, they haven't announced where the draft's going to be. They just say it's going to be in Las Vegas, so nobody knows where.
Vegas. Yeah. Viva
so now,
Rock Vegas.
Think about it.
Viva rock, baby.
Right. That would be a sick idea. It would be a sick
Rock,
idea.
baby. But yeah,
Sick
man.
idea.
Ah,
I'm
not in
saying?
Texas Live. I don't think it would be.
No, Vegas don't have a Texas Live.
No, they do not. They do not.
No.
They have an MGM, a Bellagio.
Right. No.
Yeah. Oh,
Andrew.
Mike has a great damn. Stop right there. Stop right there. I'm gonna put a pin on what we were talking about with the draft. Because
Andrew,
you already
please
know.
Come on. Please come on, because now here's what I'm telling you. It wouldn't be, because if they do the draft like they've said they're going to. No, the Rocks. Wait, hold on. Jimmy's saying that it's that the draft is going to be in Vegas or in Texas. But
No, he said it's in Arlington. He's promoting it's going to be in Arlington, Texas, and that Bob Stoops is basically wrong with what he's saying.
I don't know.
One thing that you don't need to do is have conflicting reports from your XFL employees.
Look right here.
In the back room. That means we can't go back there.
I know, Andrew. Explain to me how that would be foolish. You're already leading up 2 weeks of doing all your town halls, right? You're already leading up 2 weeks of your town halls, okay? 2 weeks leading up to it, okay? Your single biggest day of the draft on November 16th,
right,
is when you release all of your uniforms and your logos. That would be smart. That would be smart.
I'm gonna mute you real quick because of this. I have a bone to pick. I really have a bone to pick, and it's just what that man said. The league needs to maximize media exposure. Okay. The reason why I say that, and I'm going to unmute your mic. So the reason why I say that is this. Do you remember Sunday? There was two former XFL quarterbacks that played. If you saw the opening of the show, I gave 2 plays, and those are courtesy of Fox, Carolina Panthers, and the Commanders. If you saw it, you saw that there was 2 plays done by 2 former XFL quarterbacks, one by PJ Walker and the other by Taylor Heineke. My problem is this. If you're supposed to maximize the media exposure, granted you put pictures up on them, right? Why you didn't put the video down? Come on, man. The video. I want the videos. This is your league. Hey, you know what, Mike? Slowly yet surely, they're starting to
finish what you're going to say. Finish what you were going to say,
Arlington. My bone I have to pick is the XFL social media needs to be on task. When you have two of your former XFL quarterbacks, showcase them. Ain't that what you preached about? This is what you preached about. This is what you said. Hey, if you can get here, get a prime spot, maybe you might get a chance to be the starting quarterback or a starter for your team that you get to be a part of. And we want to try and get you there. PJ Walker and Taylor Heineke probably, even though Heineke had a slower start, probably had their best days as professionals.
But here, okay, now, right now, let's look at this. Here's what you're forgetting. Are you ready for this?
What's that?
So all the stuff that was put out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like half truths, right? That everybody was putting out there. But let's really look at this. PJ Walker, guess what? Has beaten Tom Brady, not once, but twice, and also beaten Aaron Rodgers. Tyler Heineke also beat Tom Brady, and he's beaten Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. So and that wasn't good enough for the XFL to promote that? Oh, you can't. Why? Because you're partnering with the NFL. It will make them look bad.
Exactly. So I get why they didn't do it. And then, it took Doug Whaley to finally put it out there, right?
But still, though, This
This is the thing that we've always said. Hold on. This is the thing that we've always said about mainstream media when it comes to the alternative leagues, right? They don't focus on these other players, right? That have come into the league, right? So
Right.
it was going to have to come from one of the alt sources, which it did, right? And then it finally took Doug Whaley to say, hey, look, two of our former alumni, one who was on the undefeated team, which they should have put that in, who is the uncrowned MVP in PJ Walker, one in the NFL, and number two, a backup that never even played on a team, beat one. You see what I'm saying? They could have done that. They didn't even do it last year to talk about it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, Andrew. And Andrew makes a good point here, too. They played under the old XFL, not this new one.
Oh, okay. All right. If you're going to use that, why did you honor them in the first place? Why did you honor them in the first place?
Jimmy says, go back and watch the XFL town hall video from Arlington. Watch the whole thing. The draft at Texas Lineman on home headquarters of the XFL on November 16th. Jimmy, look, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I'm just going by what I heard Bob Stoops say. And here's why I would want to, and I will go back and watch it, trust me. And if I do, on Thursday afternoon, after the X-Fan show Afternoon Delight, I will redact what I said. I will watch it. Don't worry. I have eaten my words 100 times on this show, and I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. But again, here, like Michael says it right here, why would the NFL care? I don't think it would encourage that it's proof that they have the best talent regardless of where they came from. Exactly. This is what we got to get out of our mindset of XFL 2020. It's a whole nother league, whole nother ownership, all of that stuff, right?
Then don't put anything from the old regime out there. But you can't do that. But they did, though. That's my point. If you're going to put it out there, then you're going to have to keep the same energy, is what I'm saying. Keep that same energy.
Well, look, as much as we like to be positive on this show, look, I think I like this one right here. I just saw this one. I think St. Louis will pick 8th. Yep, I do too.
Keep that same energy, though, is what I'm getting at from the XFL social media team.
Michael Lather from over there at Player 54 podcast. Go check it out. It's a good show.
Especially with this guest, Rod Peterson of the Rod Peterson Show in from up north. So definitely
I love the Rod.
Hey, and happy first anniversary to him as well. So at Player 54. So congratulations on that. Bingo. See that comment. Put it up so you can understand. Put that comment up.
Here's why. The USF just ended.
Yes, I understand that.
XFL has been going for 2 years now.
Okay.
Difference.
But if you're still highlighting players from the old regime, you need to keep that same energy and go ahead. At least a play wouldn't have been so bad. You could have put the post game thing with the Panthers.
Did in the fastest minutes. They did with the fastest 3 minutes with Chris Berman.
No. I'm talking about the XFL could have done that. I ain't talking about no ESPN.
But okay,
I care less what ESPN does. I get it that they're partners, that they are their network partner, but I'm talking about themselves.
So, Mr. Arlington, hello. Here's the reason why we did not do this with PJ Walker and Tyler Heineke, right?
Okay, ESPN, talk to me. Oh, excuse me, XFL, talk to me.
They did not play for our XFL, sir. They played for that old one, ran by that guy up there who runs some wrestling company. But they didn't play for our version of the XFL. So why should...
Okay, what is your version of the XFL, sir?
You will see. You will start seeing our version of the XFL, sir, coming out November 1st. And our two host cities, St. Louis and Orlando, where you get to meet your head coach, Coach Beck, in St. Louis, and you get to meet your coach,
Terrell Buckley.
Terrell
See,
Buckley.
You don't even know your own coaches. You don't
Listen,
even know your
sir,
own coaches.
we have a lot going on here in Arlington with everything that we're doing.
You don't even know.
So, sir, explain to me why I should put up and promote guys that didn't play in our version of the XFL.
Question. Okay, look, I'm gonna ask you. Let me throw another question back at you. Then,
Yes,
why,
yes,
when
sir.
you did your teaser video, you decided to put your old league out there? If this is a new regime,
Well, sir, have you seen us play it down yet?
of course not. But why would you put your? If that's the case,
Hold on.
why would you put that out there?
Hold on. Did you see us play it down, sir?
We have not yet.
Okay. Have you seen our team names and logos yet, sir?
No, but you considerably put
hold on,
the old ones out there though.
Hold on, sir. Let me finish. So you haven't seen a down that we've played yet, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You haven't seen any of our new team names and logos yet, correct?
Okay.
Okay. But we own all of that. So for us to get hype going, we're going to have to use older content until we can get our new content making. I
Really?
mean, as you know, Dean Denton was on with that one guy. What's that gentleman's name? I forgot what his name was.
He's up with that news hub. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. He was on there and he talked about how we've been recording stuff, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We have a great new logo. Our
Okay.
logo looks better than the logo before.
Correct.
You know, just like this gentleman right here says. You can tell this man's smart because he was at our town hall. Everything about the old XFL is get over it. Get over it. It ain't us. We ain't the XFL. We ain't the old XFL. We are the new XFL with a new cool logo.
So then ask me this, that right there in front of you.
Well, read the question. You're interviewing me, sir. I don't need to read my own questions.
Why did the 23 iteration bring back Whaley, Blandino, and others like Janet?
Well, here's the question you have to ask yourself. Were they ever really gone in the first place?
You would know that answer, not I.
Were they ever gone in the first place?
You
Good
would know
question.
that answer. I would not know that answer.
I have NDAs. In place.
Oh, really?
My question to you is, were those people ever really gone?
I would know.
So, I mean, maybe you'll
I
find
would
out.
know, sir. I wouldn't know.
Out.
Because
Maybe one day you find out.
maybe what?
I don't like this. I don't like this harassment I'm getting. You see?
No, it's not harassment. This is not harassment, sir. This is we want to get an understanding, a better understanding of why the old iteration can't be utilized in the new, like because you used old stuff for the new.
Who doesn't
You
say?
put,
Okay,
you put PJ, you put Taylor, and you put them out there. So now, like,
Look,
at least from the video standpoint, hey, all you're doing is praising the fact of what they did. That would have been great from an XFL standpoint. Am I wrong?
No, I agree. But here's what I will tell you. Come November 1st, you're going to start seeing what our iteration of the new XFL is. So you're talking less than 2 weeks away.
Count your days.
That's right.
Count your
And
days.
you're talking, hold on. I will count them right now for you, sir. Right here live on your air. I will count them down for all of you and your simpleton fans.
So I see that's where I have to mute you, unfortunately, sir, because when you do that, that makes it seem like you're downing us. And that's not what we're here for. You don't down the fans. And these are the fans that want to be with you. These are the fans that want to continue to support you.
I couldn't keep up that shit too long. I had to say that. Now, okay, hold on. Let me get. Yes, sir. 7
back
days,
in the character.
like this fine young gentleman right here, Jimmy.
Thank you for calling him a fine young gentleman, because that's what he is at this point. Don't do that.
7 days, you will start seeing our iteration of the XFL. And then you guys will, here it goes. Dirty's getting ready to come back out. Look, we got 7 days, people. 7 days to see this stuff. And then we will finally see what the Redbird Capitals version of the XFL is going to look at. The first batch of cookies to come out on November 1st. November 1st, the first batch of cookies come out. And no, that I love the new logo. I love the new logo.
See there? See, and you know what? And you will know something, Andrew? I always wondered, since it was the same ownership at the time, why we couldn't see what happened why we couldn't see that back in 1.0. Why we couldn't do that?
You want to know why?
I know why.
Garbage. Except for
and they didn't want that no more.
No.
And we all know that the 2020 iteration is what everybody wants to remain because it was actually better football than what we've seen before. Right? So we understand that. All right.
Right.
And that was my bone to pick. My bone to pick was about what the XFL social media team is doing. Like if I'm seeing USFL, Jimmy, you are like so on 10 about this Arlington Town Hall. I get it.
Hey, let them, man. Listen, they that Arlington, that town hall, we watched it live, had a live reaction show, and it was nuts. And here's the sad thing, Jimmy, when we were watching it live, we didn't get to hear you guys at all. We didn't get to hear you guys at all. That's what sucked. Hey, Javier Arlington, have I never not said on this show that I don't like that new logo? I've always said I liked it. I've always said I like the new logo. I like everything that the new XFL has done with their rebranding of the old XFL. I like everything about it. I've never once. I mean, there's a few things the way they've done their media stuff that I wish they would have done a little better. But I've never. I mean, I like the way that they have the shirts in the XFL look, where it's the X and then it says this says the St. Louis, or it says the X and it says San Antonio. I love that. I thought the old St. Louis, the old gear with the X and all that it was terrible looking. Didn't I? I mean, Arlington, did I not say that?
You're a huge fan of this, weren't you?
Yeah. Yes, I love it. I love that logo. Love it. I love it, and I
need one of them hoodies though, for real. I need one of them hoodies.
I might need what's in his hand. If you guys didn't know that. No, but back to what we were saying. We didn't get to hear you guys as fans. So we've talked to people who were there live at the event, and we heard that you guys were crazy and nuts, but we didn't get to hear you guys. We could see you guys were acting crazy and nuts, but we didn't get to hear you.
Right. Yeah, because they had, I think you know how they do audio things where they can, keep crowd noise down. Almost like a wrestling event.
Do I have a new XFL shirt? I do. It's on its way. I do. It's on its way. Because I'm a bigger guy, so I got to wear a 2X. So the fat guy versions, they sold out a lot faster.
I mean, a lot of people want the bigger ones anyway.
Yeah, they sold out a lot faster, So, but yeah, I mean, look, here's what I'm saying. I mean, November 1st is when the first batch of cookies comes out. So we should be excited about it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
We're like we're getting closer to February because we're only about 4 months away, and I'm like, yeah, I understand that, but at the same time, everything's going to start coming out.
Jimmy was the guy sitting next to Toby.
Was he?
Yeah, Jimmy was the guy sitting next to Toby. Toby
did go with the cowboy hat.
He had his cowboy hat on. So yeah, Jimmy was sitting next to Toby, our buddy down there.
Yeah, in Arlington, man. Yeah, so
look,
but it's still good, man.
Right when the draft happens on November 16th, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the draft happens, you're talking. We are only just 6 weeks away from training camp for XFL.
That's a little more than that.
Well, no, if you think about it, 16th They probably won't.
By the time the 16th come around. Okay.
Yeah. I'm talking about by the 16th comes around. So, they might have them come in a week before Thanksgiving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or they might even send them to Arlington after the draft. But nobody's really said. And then they have Thanksgiving because remember last year after the draft, they didn't really do anything until after, what was it called? As Christmas? New Year's, wasn't it?
You talking about 3 years ago?
Yeah. So you got to figure. So somewhere around there, And look, I wouldn't be surprised that when they do the draft, that we don't see in players in cities drumming up hype. Now, if I'm the XFL, I'm telling you where I'm going. I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to San Antonio, and I'm going to Orlando. And I'm bringing everybody for that organization to those cities to drum up business. I mean, listen, there's a great thing going on December 12th down there in San Antonio with the Yellow Belly fans. I'd be sending everybody I could to that thing on December 10th in San Antonio to drum up business and to drum up tickets. That's just me. If I fell once the draft is, am I right? Am I wrong?
I want to hear. I really want to hear what's going on in other cities that wasn't a part of the XFL in the last iteration of it. So that means Orlando, San Antonio, and Vegas. I want to hear what's going on with that. I know Houston hasn't had a lot really going on because they're not focused on that at the moment.
Right now, you guys are focused on
beating the Philadelphia Phillies. You got it, Buster. Game 1 Friday night.
He goes, he would be in San Antonio. Jimmy, go down there. December 12th or December 10th at I think what is it, MacArthur's Park, Arlington?
Yeah, that's what it said.
Yeah.
Was it the 10th though? I thought it was earlier than that, but maybe I'm wrong.
It's the 10th. It's the 10th. Yeah. Sandy just put it up. She's wanting to do one at the same time and have it as a counteract. Sandy, I'd love to do one here in St. Louis. Well, you're going to San Antonio, aren't you, Arlington? Because I know you were invited.
I was invited. I might have to make a journey out to San Antonio.
Right, for that draft, for their little post party thing.
You don't know. Post-party. We got to see what Houston is doing too now.
Well, I know you're in Houston, but you're only a couple hours from San Antonio.
True. I understand. You just got to take I-10 to get up there,
Right. See, that's what makes the show so good is that, the show is really controlled by you guys. And we had other things to talk about on this show. But you guys, hey, Jimmy says he wants to meet up with the A-Train.
Sounds good. I definitely would like to meet up with the people.
All right, Arlington. What else do we got? I know
we did have the other two things that we wanted to discuss, but we may have to talk about it. We only got 10 minutes. It was the XFL Communications had dropped a couple of things, with the Nick Novak showcase. There was the kickers that was there. Marquette King was a part of that. I couldn't think of Taylor Russolino was in it, and that was the other thing I wanted to discuss was that.
Here we go with this again.
My guy Taylor Russolino is playing with the Battlehawks. Now listen. If you're gonna give, I know they tell you all the time you got to make the best of your shot when you get to the next level, when you get to the NFL. I don't think my man got a fair shake at all. I don't think Russolino got a fair shake. And plus, remember, he was playing at a time, and I know this is going to sound even more crazy, that there wasn't many fans in the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people looked at that like, well, he should have made kicks. Nah, it's not that simple. It's not that simple, folks. I still think he deserves to get another shot at it, man. Like, I'm serious about that. And there are others, of course. We always talk about our guy, Jeremiah Spicer. Speaking of which, the two IFL teams that are looking for those that want to try out. The Iowa Barnstormers, they have a tryout coming up, and then the Arizona Rattlers have a tryout coming up. Now, these are official by the IFL. I think you had to pay a fee to be a part of those tryouts. So if you are looking at continuing your professional football journey, make sure that you go to you can go to the Pro Football Alliance and check out the news there. You can also when you do go there, make sure you go to their websites.
Yeah, and also the Frisco Fighters have one coming. All right, now, this is from the XFL communication part. Now, remember when Dean Denton was on the Mark Perry, he talked about how they have four upcoming sessions. They were just into session 2. Now they're getting ready to do session 3. And it's awful funny because session 3 is correlating right around draft time for the XFL. And this is from the XFL communications department at XFL_PR, right?
I think so, Andrew, just to answer your question. But go ahead, Dirty.
Yeah, it is. The XFL is about evaluating the following QBs for the upcoming Jordan Palmer minicap. Caleb, what is that? Lebby? How do you say that?
Hold on, man. See, now you kind of threw me when you said that because I have the list.
All right. Well, you got Cole McDonald, you got D'Eriq King, Jawan Pass, Anthony Russo, Brian Scott, who will be drafted by the San Antonio Yellow Bellies, number 1.
Okay. Caleb, you said Caleb Lebby. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, go ahead and read the list.
Caleb Lebby, Jared Quarantano, D'Eriq King, Jalen McClendon, Cole McDonald, Stephen Montez, Jawan Pass, Anthony Russo, Brian Scott, Brandon Silvers, Carson Strong, Khalil Tate, and of course Ryan Willis. Now, those that remember, of course, D'Eriq King from Houston and Miami, Cole McDonald from Hawaii, Jawan Pass played over at Louisville. Of course, Brian Scott coming over from the USFL. Brandon Silvers, former Seattle Dragons QB.
Will be drafted by the Seattle Dragons with the second pick, or the Seattle Anchors with the second pick.
You think he's going back?
Yes.
You
know that's going to piss some people off.
It would. Of course, in St. Louis, they're saying that Ryan Willis would be the guy, the quarterback there. That's interesting. Like some of the people on this list, I've heard good things about Carson Strong. I heard pretty bad things about Quarantino. Said if he's a guy, then you don't need him on your team at all. Like I've literally heard this when the list went out.
Right.
I was like, wow.
I'll remind you, this list is a lot bigger than the first list we think. And look, I don't think they're going to have assigned quarterbacks. I don't think they will. That's just my thing.
It would be best if they don't. But I'm thinking about. You got to think about the time and effort with this draft and stuff. You know how they're formatting it.
Look, you had a team almost not want to come out of their locker room because they were getting their butts handed to them.
I mean, and it wasn't about opportunity for Ryan, man. So,
yeah. I mean, me personally, who I'd like to see in St. Louis is D'Eriq King. That's who I've
been against everything, and you already know who I'm about to mention, or I'm about to say it out loud again. If he doesn't go there, I better see him in Houston.
Who?
I better see Akil Glass in Houston. But D'Eriq King seems more sensible for Houston because that's where he played. All right. And Akil Glass.
No, Jimmy, that's not quite true. Because PJ Walker's not on that list. Jordan Ta'amu.
Ta'amu's not going to be on that list.
Jordan Ta'amu's not on that list.
Landry Jones is not going to be on that list.
Landry Jones isn't. I mean, I'm sure we're going to see some old guys from the XFL. But
would you want Luis Perez there, though?
But no, because remember, Luis Perez had re-signed with the USFL.
Right.
So, and Jimmy, those lists that you see out there, I wouldn't. Here's the thing. a lot of those lists, I'll put it like this. A lot of those invites that we've been seeing out there aren't actual true invites. A lot of them are people that have said you have an opportunity to be invited, but they're not really like a lot of these workouts. They said that they were XFL workouts, private workouts, and they really weren't private workouts just for the XFL. It was set up by a totally different agency from all the news that we've gotten. I mean,
Not about it.
Right. So I have not seen a list. Oh, well, you're saying you've seen the Renegades invite? Okay, well, here, Jimmy, I'm going to give you one word of advice. This new XFL, anybody that sees that kind of stuff and they start talking about it, they kind of get blackballed. So I would just keep that one to yourself, pal. Delete that comment. Am I right, Arlington?
I can't even say anything about that. Just can't.
Just trying to help you out, pal. Just to help you out. You've been a very engaging fan. Most of you people from Dallas just sit there with your cowboy hats on and
I ain't say nothing. Hey, y'all. Hey, we were able to get an hour in, man. I know I took up about 8 minutes time.
No, but we still have a lot more than that we were wanting to talk about. So we'll talk about that on the Thursday show. You know what I'm saying? He goes, not this thing. But no, back to what Arlington said at the top of our thing, you know, and this goes out to where Arlington, you're out there in Texas, and Jimmy, you're down there in Texas, and all the Texas fans who had that school shooting that just happened. And
evolved.
You know, this has actually been the first school shooting that we've had in the state of Missouri since 2008, which happened at Clayton High School. I think what really struck everybody with this school shooting, the majority of the school shootings that we've seen have all been in more affluent neighborhoods, as you would say, where this one was more done into an urban type setting. It's very sad that, you know, I know that somebody at the beginning that we need to do stricter gun laws and stuff like that. Is that really the answer that we need to do? I mean, who knows? But the problem is right there what the man's putting up. I mean, that's another reason why Arlington started this show, was to show that you could have two people from two different backgrounds, however you want to. Yeah, I mean, I don't look as the man. I know I could speak for Arlington because I know he would say the thing. He doesn't see me as a white guy and I don't see him as a black guy, but we know that's what we are. I see that man as a brother that's sitting there next to me. And, you know, if anything that came out of what Arlington said earlier and, you know, what happened here in St. Louis, you're right, Sandy. We do need to love each other more. I mean, can you even, how many more times can we say thoughts and prayers to people?
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's like, it's getting out of control, and it's not. And here's the thing. Jimmy said something about idiot control. The thing is,
here's what it is, Arlington. Are you ready? Here's what we need. Go out and talk to somebody that looks different than you. Go out and talk to them. You'd be surprised.
And stop being judgmental about everything, because you don't know what a person goes.
Exactly.
Don't know.
Go talk. I mean, you guys have heard it. We have both bared our hearts out on things that have happened to us on these shows. I mean, that's why we didn't do our show for almost 3 months, because my guy next to me needed to work some personal things out in his head. I did too.
If there's one thing I would say about what we got going on, is we talk every single day. Mm-hmm. Just about, if not twice during the day, checking on each other and just kind of updating on everything we got going on. Yep. So it's like, I see him as, like you said, I see him as my brother, man. I don't see him as nobody. But when my guy came for me to my lady Ivory Griffin's funeral, it was the greatest thing he could have ever done. He didn't have to do it, but he did it. And it solidified forever to me that he's my brother. And I love him dearly. I would give him my left arm if I could. That's how much I love him.
No offense.
You know what I mean, bro. But I'm saying that I'll be there for you, man. You know, it was
I know you would.
the best gesture that he could have ever done for me, and forever grateful for that, man. And so it was like, man, thank you. And that's kind of where we at. Even when we have disagreements, it never gets to the point where it ends the conversation.
No, we just have our disagreements live on air. But it's like I said, like Arlington said in the beginning. Yeah, it sucked. It was a horrible tragedy. But for the way for us to stop this, put it back up, Arlington. Put the sign back up.
That one, baby.
We need to do that. We need to do that, and you need to go talk to somebody that doesn't look like you, that might not think of like you do, because you never know. You're gonna find something that you might have in common with that person.
It's not going to be easy. It's not. It's going to take a slow process to get that back in order. But if you got patience and whatnot, you got to do so. I seen Jim Harris said it. He knew the family, one of the young girls that was killed. So definitely, they're going through today. You know, they went through yesterday, and they're going to continue to go through as the day progresses. So as much as it's as much as it was, talk to somebody. Just go talk to somebody. You never know. That might be that thing that you changed in their lives. Go get to know somebody. CVPA strong, baby. Hey, I'm thinking about you.
That being said,
from Houston.
Arlington, we're not going to end the show. We're just going to leave that up there. Put that back up there. We want to give a moment of silence for that. So put it back there. With that being said, this is the X-Fan Show. I am Dirty. Afternoon Delight. I am Dirty. Sitting next to me. Put it back up there.
It's up there, man.
Arlington. Okay. And we're going to do a moment of silence for CVPA. That being said, thank you guys for joining us.